Alright, welcome back to another episode of StichMethod. Today we're going to be talking about licks. A lot of people ask, hey, can you discuss how licks work, what licks are? And if you're a fan of StichMethod, you probably know by now that I really don't like dissecting licks, because licks as we know them are based on what chord is happening or the time frame, and they're not interchangeable. Learning a lick doesn't mean you can put it in 3 different songs. It means you can pretty much put it in the one song you learned it from. And so I want to give you the idea that you're actually in control of creating amazing licks. All right, you really are, and there's no need to admire Guitar God's licks when you can just understand how to do it on your own and then admire what you're doing. So let's get down to it and let me show you how it all works. A lick is nothing more than several notes based in a certain time frame. And today we're going to be using the 12-bar blues to discuss those licks. So I'm going to give you an example right away of what we call an opening lick. An opening lick is something, of course, that starts off your blues, but it actually doesn't come in on the first beat. It comes in on the 4th beat of the measure before we come in. So what do I mean by that? All right, so if you have this count 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, you're going to try going 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 1. That's the exact rhythm you're going to use, all right? 4 and a 1. Now I have a 12-bar blues backing track in E underneath my feet, my looper, and I'm going to use my E minor pentatonic, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. Check this out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 1. Okay, do it one more time. 2, 3, 4 and a 1. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 1. All right, now you can see right there, all I was doing was using the E minor pentatonic. And when you use the count 4 and a 1, you really can do anything you want to do. There are some rules here, but really anything you want. You can start in any interval you want, as long as you either land on the root note, which is an E, or even this, or this. And you can start on a root note, you can start on a 5, you can start anywhere you want. But if I did this, like 4 and a 1, that's a blues lick right there. Listen to it. And it's not because of, well, it's the 5 going to the minor 3rd, going to the 1. Nope. It's because of the time frame it's in. 4 and a 1 are your intro licks. Let me do it again with a totally different set of notes in the pentatonic. Let's see. I want to end on a 1. I'm going to end here. Let's see if I can get a 4 and a 1 in here. Oop, not like that. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it was. 4 and a 1. Alright, and so you can see this 4 and a 1, we're going to call it an opening riff. If you can practice this, now I have a lot to say here, a lot more to say here, which is you don't need to think about this stuff in the future. You want to practice this stuff, pretty hardcore right now, and then you should be able to kind of like loosen up and understand how to feel and put these things in. But when you shape your pentatonics in time, we get licks, all right? So an opening riff is 4 and a 1. Now I want to say this, and this is going to become apparent as we go down this lesson, which is the most important part of this riff right here, this lick, is that 4 and a 1, landing on the root note on the 1. And this is where you have to have this ripcord mentality. If you go to play something and your intent is to practice 4 and a 1 and your fingers trip, you have to pull the ripcord and get to that 1 as quickly as possible. I can guarantee that all of our favorite guitar players that we listen to use this. They're playing, and all of a sudden, as they get to their 1 beat, they're like, oh my gosh, after the 1, here's a 1. Boom, you can hear it all the time. Alright, so I don't want you to think, and you're going to be like, blasphemy, Stich. There's plenty of, guitar players that I love that I know for a fact, they don't shape, they're not 100% like plugged in when playing their blues riffs. They're kind of going with the flow, and when you go with the flow, you have to be able to hit that root note on the 1. All right, so if you want to practice this stuff, by the way, and with these times and different times and counts, you can check it out on Patreon. But I'm going to show you one more opening riff type thing, and then we'll move forward. Remember, opening riffs to practice, 4-1. Let me do it one more time. I'm going to start anywhere I want in the pentatonic, but I'm going to make sure I hit that 1. Actually, no, I lied to you. You can hit a 5 as well. Okay, the 5 is a really good place to end your opening riff because it creates tension. And so here's a 5 here. So I'm going to end my riff here. But I'm going to go, 4-1. All right. Actually, I'm going to, instead of hitting the 5 here, I'm going to take the 4 and bend it up to the 5 here. All right. Let's see what it sounds like. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. So right there, 4-1. That's an opening lick. You can design anything you want in the pentatonic, and if you play for someone, they're going to be like, ooh, that sounded good. That was an awesome lick. And you can be like, oh my gosh, it works. So let me show you, we have an opening riff. Let me show you a closing riff. Closing riffs. Now, closing riffs are used to end your sentence, all right, before you recharge and go back into what you're doing. It's not a comma here. This is a period. Boom. All right? And an ending phrase is one triplet 3. Okay, listen to the rhythm. 1 triplet 3. All right, 1 triplet 3. What I'm doing here is I'm using my my blues scale. Here's my root note, my flat 7, 5, flat 5, 4. And so when you want to end something, you hear this all the time. We end it on the 3. Let that 4th beat carry. It signifies, hey, we're done speaking before we get back in. So if you listen here, you have something like this. Now, this is an ending phrase, all right? It's going to sound, how do I explain this? Because I'm starting my loop here, you're going to be like, whoa, it didn't sound too correct because it doesn't sound like I should end that early, but listen to the actual concept. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, triplet 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, triplet 3. So I kept them doing it so you can hear it. But you can do this anywhere. Now I am ending on a root note. I am ending on that 1, that E. But you can do anything you want, like 1, 2, 1, triplet 3. Right? Anything. That was just a. Or 1, triplet 3. Let's try that one. That's going to be hot. There it was right there. 1, triplet 3. All right? Sorry, 1 triplet 3. I want to make sure that was right. And so you have an opening riff here. 4-1. 4-1, 2, 3. The key thing is that we started not on a root note, we end on a root note. You can also do it by starting on a 5 or ending on a 5. 4-1, 2, 3, 4, and then get into your playing. Then we have closing riffs, which are usually 1 triplet 3. Now, I mean, this isn't like the end all be all. You know, as you practice this stuff, you'll start to have a better pocket in time. I'm just trying to guide you into understanding that a lick really is just, you know, in the blues right now, pentatonics, blues scales, but more importantly, where they happen and where they end. All right, and so let's talk about that closing riff one more time. Like 1 triple. Actually, here's one. 1 triplet. That's a common one. 1 triplet this. All right, now I did it before. 1 triplet 3, but a lot of people will throw in that major third. 1 triplet here 3 and my pinky. Or you can go 1 triplet 3, 4 if you want to. 1 or 1 triplet 3. Anything you can think of. 1 triplet 3, right? 1 triplet 3 or 1 triplet 3. It's the ending on that 3, that punch on the 3 that gives the statement. And so now what we're going to do here is you're going to practice, and I hope this is making sense. I'm just trying to show you that blues licks, again, I'm not trying to take away from the guitar gods. They're human, and a good lick is based on timing, the timing of it, all right? And so let me show you what happens when you put a closing lick next to an opening riff. You're going to have 1 triplet 3, 4, and a 1. All right, and so you've heard that many times. Check us out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. All right, And so you can hear that was the closing riff of 1, a triplet, 3, then 4, and a 1. Now let me play it. Sorry, she raised my guitar as well, right? Teaching guitar. Let me play it again, but with totally two different riffs. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, a 2, and 3, 4, and 1. Again, this isn't the end-all be-all. I'm playing a lot of stuff in there that wasn't it, but I did play a lot of the stuff we talked about. Now, before we go, you have to understand, like, this is just a ramp to launch off of. For some people who, they play guitar and it's hard for them to sound like they're playing licks, this is just a guiding light on understanding what a lick is. All right, so now let's talk about middle riffs. All right, middle riffs really, there's such an open playing field here. You can just go, crazy and then grab onto an opening riff or go on to a closing riff. But a definite, practice that you want to do would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, triplet. All right, this is a 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, triplet, and you hear this like 1, 2, triplet. Anything you want, 1, 2, triplet, anything you can do. All right, but remember, you got to pull the ripcord and get to where you want to be at the end, no matter what. If your fingers stumble, just 1, 2, triplet, blah, blah, blah. All right, and okay, I have to get to that note. And so don't be afraid. Don't try and backpedal and redo it. Just get to your goal, all right? So, middle riffs, really you can end anywhere you want, but the idea is the counting of it. 1, 2, triplet. That was terrible. 1, 2, triplet. That wasn't really that good right there because I ended on that minor third. I should have bent it up and give it a little bit of tension, like 1, 2, triplet. Something a little bit of flair there. So right here, licks are based on time. They're not based on the notes. I can sit and say, well, the reason this lick works is that it's a 4 bent to a flat 5, 5, 1, flat 7 to a 1. But everything you're going to do is going to sound like that, right? And it's like, no, you want to get the timing of it. If you understand the timing, you can create more licks. All right, so I'm going to stop talking here. If you want to practice these times and different times with me on Patreon, join me there. I'll have tons of practice sessions for you. But if you want to practice this stuff right now, write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4 and or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 a triplet, right? 1 a triplet 3. And see what you can come up with and stick to those time frames. A short lesson, but nonetheless, I believe that you can create your own licks that will blow your own mind or blow your bandmates' minds or whoever's listening because, again, I always say this, there is no guitar god. We are humans who play the instrument, and this is how the game works. Now, again, this isn't the end-all be-all. Blues licks and timing, it's a huge open field. I kind of got you through the door on this one, but hopefully you can stay enthused and start to understand what it takes and kind of create your own things, maybe try some different times. All right, I'll stop talking. Rock and roll. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.